Good morning. Yes, today is Friday, July 3rd. It's day before Independence Day, so I want to wish everybody a happy, safe, and blessed 4th of July weekend. Stay safe out there. I'm coming to share my NBI Live, my narrative-based interviewing live framework. Today my teacher was answers, and my intention is the truth. And in the grand scheme of things, we've been taught, not maliciously, but intentionally, to look for answers outside of ourselves, everywhere. The outward investigation, self-improvement, fixing or figuring out this, that, the other thing. Everything's about movement and action in finding answers in that investigation. What we've not been taught often enough, maybe at sometimes some great wise people in our lives have told us to stop and look within for the answers. And that's the truth, because the ego is littered with answers. Those identities that the ego has, that makes up the ego, the identities that make up the ego will come to life. Each identity will be activated in that moment, and the ego is going to provide the evidence to confirm your bias or contradict anything against it. And that's what that avoidance and defiance and defense and manipulation and rationalization and minimization, that's where all those things exist in those identities of the ego that just want to confirm what we believe and contradict what we don't. So yeah, it's going to contradict the evidence that maybe we just need to contemplate a little bit and look inside for the answer. And maybe we haven't been there often enough. But the self and all the identities the world has created tell me, the identities that I created, that I need self-improvement, that there's something that needs to be fixed, that I can't just stop, return to that innocence, purity, and freedom, and know that I have every answer I've ever needed right now. It's always been there intrinsically. The truth is, I have all the answers to all things right now within me, and that's where we fail to look at the ego and those outward investigations that we didn't really come up with concrete answers, or we're not really confident in, or we just don't understand. There's doubt and defeat and defensiveness, and that comes out quite a bit, and it's actually quite the opposite of what we're looking for. The antidote to those doubt, defeated, and being defensive, is to look within, return to the I, and sit in the answers of truth. That's where that exists, because either we can live in the I or we can live in the ego. They both reside in the same place as the subconscious. The challenge is that we've been feeding and reinforcing the identities of the ego for so long that we've overshadowed the innocence, purity, and freedom that was always there with the answers in truth, which is the I. And the absolute truth lives in the answers of the I. The I is that innocence, purity, and freedom. We were born with it. The truth is not found in judgment or blaming or looking for fault or fixing or figuring out or self-improving anything. The answers exist when we stop, come back to the power of the moment, look inward, that inward inquiry, back to the I, return to the I, and that I am declaration. For instance, today, I am truth. That applies to all things. I can apply that I am declaration to every single situation, experience, or moment in my day, and I will find freedom in it when I believe in it. And the more you do it, the more deep that belief will come. The truth is found in silence, stillness, contemplation, and the inward inquiry. So when you become still, return to that silence, contemplate, what exactly am I feeling? What am I experiencing in this moment? Create that space and return inward to that I and declare, I am freedom, I am truth, I am love, I am joy, I am present, whatever that may be. And then move mindfully with purpose and meaning. Remember, you got mindful, masterful, and meaningful. That's what you're going to get from narrative-based interviewing. They're the three core principles driving everything. You want to be that mindful movements, masterful movements to mastery of the moment, to meaningful experiences. And you'll find your truth. And the answers just return to the I. We're all born with the truth, and the answers are in that truth. So I believe that I'm born divine, that God created man in his own image. No matter what that God is, we're all made of God's stuff. And if we're made of God's stuff, that means we're made of God's truth. And if we're made of God's truth, that means it's intrinsic. It means I don't have to create it. I already have it. I was born with it. It's a birthright. It was born into truth. In my spiritual pathway says there was something going on, right? And Jesus says, they know not what they do. And that's what happened. The world cannot take the truth or answers from us. It can only shadow it. So we've been allowing that I to be overshadowed by worldly narratives, world views, world opinions, stories, and narratives of what we've been told, what we've inherited, what was imprinted, implanted on us. But the world around us cannot take the truth, nor the answers that have always been there and always will be there, that exist in that I. All we have to do is return to it. It takes practice, because at first that ego and the identities are going to make you feel like it's not right. Like this can't be that simple. Well, it is, and that's how it's intended to be. All we have to do is return to what has always been there. So if you have questions, and you're looking for something, just that your life just isn't going the way you want it to, practice return to the I, declaring who you are in that moment. Have an anchor point today. Let that I am declaration, like mine, I am truth, all day long. I don't have to shift that, because the more I go back to I am truth, the deeper that anchor is set. The deeper I set the anchor in I am truth, the wider the radius of pivot points to participate differently in every single moment. They just come to life. Why? Because I have the answer. I am the answer. I'm not the problem. I never was. The problem was that I was looking at myself as the problem and trying to fix something that didn't need fixing. I just have to return to what's always been there. So the world say, they know not what they do. Our parents and teachers in the world and great people in our lives never intended to make us feel like we were unworthy. That's just what they were taught. That's just what their narrative was. That's the story they've been telling themselves. That's the story they were told. They adopted that story. When you adopt a story narrative, of course, your brain and mind have to create adaptive responses to it. So we just weren't encouraged to return to the I. And I'm encouraging you today to start with your narrative-based interviewing. Get involved with the highest, finest, best, most authentic you today by returning to your I. All we have to do is return to what, like I said, we were born with. So, the purpose driving my intention today is from John, where it says, if you abide in me and you are my true disciples, you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. So, that you know the truth, that you are the answer, that truth will set you free. No matter what, where, when, or why, or how. Know that truth, that the answer has always been there, it always was, it's built in love, and you are the answer. You are the truth. And then how do we find the truth? We ask ourselves that question. How might we find the truth? Well, we trace it back to the fact. So you want to find the truth? Trace it back to the fact that you are the answer, and that the truth has always been within you. Because the truth is with you. The truth is in you. You are the truth. So today my teacher was answers, and my intention is the truth. So I in that moment I pray and I ask God to allow His truth to flow from Him to me, through me, from me, and back to me, creating answers in me and all around me. Stay blessed, keep interviewing, and I love you.